Welcome to Rodis Live. I'm your host, Rodis. Today, I'm here with a very special guest. Please introduce yourself to the listeners of Rodis Live and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Going on? It's Marc Spano, aka Marc Spano. I'm a producer, engineer originally from Charlotte, North Carolina, living in Florida now, and just put out a record with Fashawn called Capital. So I know we're going to talk about that and everything. So yeah, appreciate you having me on.
That's what's popping. So, how long you been producing?
And as long as I can remember, bro, I probably started like age 11, 12. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
29 now.
Okay.
So, that's a long time. It's over half my life.
So, back then, what was your weapon of choice and what is your weapon of choice now?
Yeah, back then I started on I think the first thing I messed with was probably GarageBand
Okay.
on like my dad's computer. I would mess around with GarageBand. Then I went to Fruity Loops, but the demo version. So I had 4 bars basically to play around with and work with. And then I started using Logic. I was like 13 or 14. I got Logic, and I've been using Logic ever since that, and I still use that. So all I used to produce is Logic, and then recently I got, not recently, a couple years ago, I got Serato Sample. So I used to chop everything up in the Logic sampler, uh, but now Serato Sample is like my main weapon of choice.
Okay. So is that Serato sample on detect or
It's like you're not familiar with it?
yeah, I'm familiar with Serato sample.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just use it within like Logic, and then I just load my samples and chop up from there. I use a MIDI keyboard. I don't use like any other machines apart from that.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
The MIDI keyboard is what's popping. I use machine
Okay.
and I got the machine MK32. That's what I'm working on now, but I
I
mess
know
with
how.
I mess with a cow when I travel.
Okay. Yep, I got one of them travel travel ones as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
so what was your first placement?
Oh man, I had a couple random ones. I think my first one when I was like real young was an artist out of the Bay from the Bay Area called T Nutty. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but I had something on a random album of his.
Okay.
I also had like real early on. Do you know who Tito Lopez is? You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had something on one of his EPs or mixtapes called the Emmett Trill EP he did. I had a beat on that when I was real young still, probably like maybe 17, when that had come out. That's when he was before I think he kind of quit on the industry or quit on rap or whatever. But he was kind of popping at that point, so that was like a big moment, at that time for me. Um, so yeah, those are my first real placements, and yeah, that kind of gave me the encouragement to you know keep going, that I was doing something right.
Okay. So how did this collaboration come with you and Fashion? I actually collaborated with him myself.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah. So how did y'all collaboration come together? The production is tight, the rhymes are tight. So how did this come
Yeah.
into fruition?
Yeah. We had worked on an EP in 2023 called Facts, and it was just over the internet, really, bro. Like, I just sent him some beats,
Right.
and we kind of went from there. I didn't know we were gonna eventually end up making enough songs to do a whole album, but that's just what happened. Conceptually, I don't know if he had something in his mind that he was building towards like that capital theme, but to me, we were just building songs, and it's just kind of what it formed into. Um, but that project's like a year and a half to 2 years of going back and forth, working, and building songs. A lot of songs didn't make the cut, so you might get to hear those one day. But yeah, bro, we just linked up like that, really.
That's what's up. I've been listening to the album. I actually got it on Amazon,
Okay.
but I bought the vinyl too. So I can't wait to get my
Yeah, no,
vinyl.
we appreciate that. I definitely appreciate you on that. Yeah, they should be shipping soon. I bought one too, just so I could have the same kind of customer experience. So I'll see what's going on with it.
No,
But
it's,
hopefully it's
I
shipping
know it.
soon, bro.
I know it's coming, but it's just a process. That's all.
Yeah,
You
you know how it
gotta
goes.
appreciate the process.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you for supporting.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you coming through on this interview. So, what
Absolutely.
do you have brewing besides like what's the typical day like for you far as the music?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm really like beats, samples, and I just make beats most days. You know what I mean? Um, that's what I do. But then my mind, like, I love building projects. I've put out like a lot of like one rapper, one producer type projects. So I like getting with artists to do stuff like that. I think the Capital album was maybe my third or fourth album I put out this year. I got another one that we're going to start rolling out really soon with Denaro Farrar, who's an artist out of Charlotte, where I'm from. We put out
Okay.
one earlier this year, and we'll put out another one pretty soon. Um, so yeah, bro, it's just making beats, figuring out, what beats I have that I've made, weeks, months ago that I could use, and not just making beats, but figuring out where they need to go, and building projects, and also chasing placements at the same time. So,
Right.
I try to plant a whole bunch of seeds, and then you know what I mean, see what
Then
happens.
they grow.
Yeah, then they grow eventually. It could take some
Yep.
time, but
It
they
de-
will
it
grow.
definitely it definitely keep you motivated making beats. You know.
That's the start of everything.
Sometimes when you go through your stuff, you be like, "Man, I can't believe I made this," you know?
Yeah, yeah, I'll be forgetting I made certain things. So yeah, man, got to do something with the beats, right? Can't just make the beats and sit on them. You gotta give them life. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So,
Do you go like the Beat Star or Airbit route or no?
say that again, bro. I'm sorry. What you
Like
say?
like like a Beat Stars page or Airbit
Oh,
page or no?
yeah. I did it at one point. Had a beat star. But to be honest, and not to like knock anybody who sells beats on there, but it did feel like a little amateurish. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not to hate because I'm sure people make a lot of money on that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I wasn't the type of dude that was selling beats for like $30, $50 leases. Like, I'm just not that type of producer. I don't want my brand to be like valued like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I shut it down pretty quick. I might even still have it with like old beats. I don't even know. But if you want to get beats to me, you got to hit me up directly, and then we have like a personal exchange, basically. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that because the beats will be sold.
Yeah, and I ain't even stressed about selling beats really. I'm more focused on building a catalog, you know what I mean, and building like a fan base of, you know, music listeners. I'm not I do sell beats from time to time, but most artists aren't overly serious about spending money on production like that, and that's
Yes.
fine. I get that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't even stress about it too much. But if and anyone wants to hit me up for beats, hit me up and I'll get back with you ASAP.
That's what's popping. So
So,
if you wasn't Mark Spano,
yeah,
if you was any producer in the game right now, if it
yeah.
wasn't yourself, what producer would you be?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Um, like if I could be another producer, like based on like just the sound and like
Right. If
the
you
love.
if you didn't
Oh
exist
man.
in the
Okay.
matrix in the universe, what producer might you be that's out right
I'll give you
now?
two. I'll give you
Okay.
two. I would be Jake one or I'd be Nuts.
Oh, not people sleep on knots.
They shouldn't.
He he got that soul.
Yeah, no, Knott's is crazy. I saw him live in Charlotte. They did a beat battle, him and Bink, and
Okay,
he's just a different level. You know what I mean?
I
Knott's is a
agree.
different level, bro. But no, I like so producers like that, like they always got the placements, right? But they're not doing the most, right? They just chilling, making beats, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And those are some of my favorites. So yeah, I give them a shout out. Out there, High Tech out there too, because he's one of my favorites as well.
Yeah, I like shout out High Tech.
Yeah.
Shout out to Knots and shout out to Jake One. So, what is your dream collaboration? If you could get a beat to any artist, who would it
Yeah.
be?
Yeah, that's a good one, bro. It's not realistic because I don't think he does music anymore, but it would be 50.
Okay, I think yeah, I think the only reason why 50 don't do music anymore, he ain't down with the fast and a record thing, you know?
Yeah, yeah, he's obviously doing other shit, but yeah, I think in his mind, like if he's not selling like a million records out of the gate, then right, he's not like into it. And obviously he's not at that point anymore, but I wish he would.
I
I wish
know,
he would.
like I like 50. I like them I like them when, before he got shot, after he got
Yeah.
shot. I kind of dig 50. I like the turbulence that he bring to the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, he's just one of my favorite, I'd say, artists and songwriters, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Others I throw, Nas, another huge, you know, fan of, I would say, especially because he just dropped Raekwon.
Yo,
Man, if I could get
I
something to the
I
chef.
like
Woo!
I like that Chef album. I like it.
That's fire, bro. I hear people saying that they don't like the beats on it, and I don't know what they're talking.
What?
The beats is hard to
I'm
me.
like, what are they listening to? Like, you
Yeah.
gotta listen to it in the car if you're not getting it, or you just not a fan of the chef. That's
I
how I
think people
feel.
people just want to see certain names, you know what I mean?
Right. I
And
I really like his beat selection.
yeah, always grimy, right? Always hard, bro. So yeah, there's a couple names. I mean, really, there's so many. There's too many to name.
It,
I'm just a big fan of a lot of people, so
hey, it's nothing wrong with that. And like, it's a lot of good albums that came out. I like
yeah.
Public Enemy got a new one.
For real?
Yeah, they got a new album out. It
Okay.
dropped in
I didn't
March.
see. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I didn't see much like press about that.
Well, they fans know. So
Yeah, right. Okay.
so PE drop. I like Slick Rick album. It was good.
Well, Slick Rick's got some joints.
I like the Chef. I like Capital. I like
Loop
the Clips album.
Clips dropped a classic. Yep.
And I like Redman album that he dropped towards the end of the year. That was pretty dope. He got 32 tracks, but it got skits and everything. It's like a
Okay.
movie, but it's really
That just
good.
scares me when I see that.
Yeah, like it's no fillers. Everything
Okay.
belong on the album.
Oh, okay. That's saying something if it's 30 plus records on it.
Yeah, but I dig it. Like a lot of people, they just take up space. I think Alfredo too is good.
I was just listening to that for the first time because I was getting over being sick, so I didn't want to listen to it sick. But yeah, I just listened to it today. Obviously, I got to sit with it, but the beast was hard. There's some joints on it. I don't think Freddie's rapping to the level he did on the first one, uh, but it's still dope. Like this, they're
I
not gonna miss.
I'm in agreement with you, but
Yeah,
he got some good records on that, but it's not
the one with
as
Pack
good
was
as the
crazy.
first one.
Yeah, the one with Anderson Pack is crazy.
Yeah, that's bananas. And I still love her. I like that.
That beat's hard. Yeah, that's a tough beat too.
Yeah. So what's next for you, Mr. Mark Spano?
Yeah, man, just gonna keep doing what I do. Like I said, I got that album with Dinero Ferrar coming out pretty soon. We're gonna start rolling out some singles for that shortly, and then For the rest of the year, I got an album myself that I've been putting together for the last year or so, with featuring some pretty notable artists. So, I'm not going to say too much on it, but I could give you, like a couple little something. Like I got Fash on it. I got RJ Payne on it. I got
Okay.
uh man, I don't even want to say who else I got on it, but I got some crazy stuff. So I'm
It,
gonna try to figure that one out.
it's all
Um,
good. I understand how you want to keep it under wraps. So when
yeah,
it
there's a couple names
explode,
on there I don't
boom.
want to say yet.
Right.
But
So
yeah,
one
that's
thing with the Capitol record,
yeah,
who's distributing it for you, or is it
yeah.
just straight indie?
Yeah, we went with the indie label called Old Soul Music. I had heard of them through Gennaro Ferrara. They distribute for him too. So I had already worked with them and like met with the dudes and stuff, and they were all pretty cool. And I told him when he found out I had an album with Fashawn, he was really interested in it. Being a fan and whatnot. So yeah, he was able to convince me to let it go through to that label.
That's
Um,
good.
because they handled the vinyl, which is something we I couldn't handle myself. You know what I mean? So that's what they got me on, doing the vinyl printing and distributing. So yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I'm not, I'm pretty happy for the most part of partnering. I'm definitely in like the mind state of staying indie. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
owning everything.
Yes.
But it's still indie, like you still own most of the record, and they help with certain things. So they get a percentage, but they don't own the record, so it's all good.
People don't understand the purpose of partnership, you know?
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
And there's nothing wrong with being indie.
No, that's really what you should be doing, you know what I mean? Unless you get a crazy offer, right? Then I haven't
Right.
been in that position to get a crazy offer
R-
where,
Right.
I gotta
We
consider things.
we
But
not taking fast in a record though. We not.
yeah, keep your records, because it's valuable, even with streaming, even though you're getting pennies, you know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
have
Go ahead.
10, 20, 30 albums, you know what I mean, that are all good, you can make a living off of that. You know what I mean? So that's where my mindset is.
Exactly. So if it's any wait, let me ask you this. Is there any plans for a Marc Spano instrumental album?
I've been thinking, and to be honest, I'll ask you, bro, do people even listen to instrumental albums? Is there a
Yes.
market for that?
Yes. Yeah, it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
I don't know anyone that listens to instrumental albums. I don't listen to instrumental albums. So I wasn't sure if that would be a waste of time and energy.
No. Yo, yeah, people listen to him.
Okay. I guess it
So,
wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like I put one out a few years ago, so you can find that on my, like when you search my name on streaming, services. I put one out probably 2021, 2022 called Puzzle Pieces. It's got some joints, but I don't know. I just didn't know what to do with it because, it's just an instrumental album. But if you think people listen to it, maybe I'll do it.
yes, that's what's popping. So, if you could leave anything with the listeners of Riders Live, Mr. Spano, what would it be?
And go listen to Capital if you haven't already. That's my baby right now. So yeah, man, y'all keep running it up.
You
That's
heard
what
it
I'm.
first. You heard it first here on Riders Live from Marc Spano. Go get that new Capital. Spano on production, Fashawn on the rhymes. That's what's popping. This
That
has
is
been
the spot.
another episode of Riders Live. Peace.